the garage here doing another battle report. This is going to be 50 points of Cygnar versus Khador. Today we are playing close quarters, which is a scenario where at the end of each player's turn, starting on the second player's second turn, a player earns 1 control point by controlling the zone on his opponent's side of the board while his Warcaster or Warlock is within a zone. It's Artifice's kill box. You need 3 control points and have more control points than the opponent to win the game. My opponent is Cam, and my name's Jeremy, and we'll roll to see who's going first. 6. Okay, so that's Cygnar that'll be going first. Alright, so this is the deployment for our start of our game. Today I am running pHaley with Old Rowdy, Junior, and a Squire, a full unit of Stormblades with 3 Storm Gunner attachments and the UA, 2 Storm Striders, 2 Stormsmith Storm Towers, and a full unit of the Gun Mages with the Captain. And Cam, what are you running today?
I'm running Old Witch, just hiding back here. With her, I've got Gorman and Silas. We're going to be running the full units of Rifle Corps with the full Death Star, and Joe, of course. And then I've got Nis hiding on this other side over here. Let's get in the full units. I have Aina and Hordes and the Behemoth.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'll be taking first turn. Basically for my first turn, it's going to be running the light artillery onto that hill because they can't move and shoot, so I need to get them in a spot where they can shoot for hopefully what seems the entire game and not move. Storm Striders are going to be running. Junior's going to be putting Arcane Shield onto the Stormblades. Gun Mages are going to be kind of moving behind the Storm Strider to be getting lots of blocked line of sight from those NISP coming out. And pHaley's just going to move up the board quickly and start spamming Temporal Barrier with Old Rowdy right beside her. And we'll see you after my turn 1. Alright, so end of my first turn, pretty much did all my plans. Like I said, put this artillery up on the hill. Storm Striders ran, the Stormblades ran, Junior walked up, put Arcane Shield onto them. pHaley's sitting behind the Storm Strider, and Old Rowdy went up to kind of block line of sight to her. She also put Arcane Shield onto this Storm Strider. The full unit of Gun Mages ran into this rough terrain, cover kind of weirdness situation. Squire's up here, and just hoping that I'm out of range for all of the scattering AoEs. And yeah, so that'll be Cam's first turn. Why don't you take us through what you're going to do?
So my plan is to deal with as much of the Stormblades as I can. I've got some rockets and Behemoth. I'm going to see if I can take out a few of them. Arm 18 is not going to be easy to get through, but we'll see what happens. Rifle Corps are going to run up, put some covering fire down to prevent any interested parties in moving forward. The NIS, I'm not sure exactly how far we've got to go. I'm either going to hide them in here or run up to the fence and either shoot. No, we'll just have to hide for a while and let the witch's protection protect us. That's it.
All right. sorry, yeah, take us through what you did, Cam.
So that was my first turn. After initial measurement of Witch's control area, I decided that any of my initial plans of launching rockets and bombards was going to be out of range, so I decided to do a light run forward and put up some protections to give myself something for him to deal with. NIS weren't too bad, but they're split up pretty badly up that wall, so hopefully they'll survive. And that my rifle guard won't get, my rifle corps won't get shot too badly by these guys over here.
Alrighty, so what I plan to do this turn is, this is most likely going to be a feat turn for pHaley, which gives me an additional shot for all friendly models in your control area, or additional attack, regardless of rate of fire. So since I kind of locked her in here with Old Rowdy, she's not going to be able to advance and do temporal barrier and feat. So basically what I have to do is get Old Rowdy out of the way. He's going to be kind of pulled out of the game for me to do that. pHaley's really going to have to expose herself by walking up here. And she's going to be temporal barrier to give me -2 defense on a lot of their stuff. And she most likely will be dead-eyeing the Stormblade, so they get an additional die on their ranged attack. I'm hoping that the Scrapjack is within 14 inches of my lightning towers to try and get some Electroleaps onto his iron-fleshed Winter Guard, which will kind of help me bypass their super awesome defense right now. The Gun Mages, not really sure what they're going to do. They're locked into this rough terrain pretty bad, but I don't want to expose them out of it to get shot by NIS. So they're just going to kind of take the aiming bonus and try and clear out those 3 NIS behind the wall. Other than that, we're just going to hope that my feat turn does a big enough detriment to his infantry. Good. Alright, so we're going to just recap my turn here. It was pretty devastating. I think me and Cam were both pretty surprised about how well my feat turn went. Basically what happened, like I said, I moved Old Rowdy out of the way so that pHaley could walk up behind the Storm Strider and into the mixture of these Stormblades to Temporal Barrier, which reduces their defense by 2 and allows them to not charge or run. And then she put Deadeye onto the Stormblades so that they had an additional die to hit. So then I walked up, and the 3 Storm Gunners were the only ones that were going to be in range, because they're range 12 when they're within 5 inches of the leader. And they basically got 6 shots with trying to hit defense 13 iron fleshed, but -2 defense of the Winter Guard.
15.
Defense 15, right? Then -2 from Temporal Barrier. And then when they direct hit, they got 3-inch AoEs, so they were pHaley blasts and took out a decent chunk of them. And then I brought up the Storm Strider and started laying fire into the Behemoth, which he's armor 21, and I was dice -6 for damage, but it was the Electroleaps that I was really wanting. Took out Ion and Holt, a bunch more Winter Guard, and 1 or 2 NIS. The Gun Mages, they were successfully able to clear out those 3 NIS behind the wall by doing the aiming bonus and just rolling really good on dice. And this Storm Strider came up, laid some shots into Scrapjack, which I think he's pretty hurt.
Oh, he's hurt, but everything's still up.
Everything's still up on him, but he is reduced to probably
6 boxes left?
Yeah, 6 boxes left.
Yeah, he's limping on his one leg.
And the Electroleaps were just kind of chewing through some of his rifle corps and Winter Guard. The Stormsmith Storm Towers, they were out of range to shoot anything, and I didn't want to move them up because those Rifle Corps will just pick them off really easily, so they're kind of sitting out of the game right now. Journeyman walked up through Arcane Shield on the pHaley, dropped it off of the Stormblades, and the Squire moved up to try and block line of sight because Cam's pretty much only threat right now is Behemoth coming up and trying to Arcane Fire below pHaley away, so I wanted to get that blocking in there and try and make sure that he doesn't have line of sight, which, I don't know, I'm curious to see what he's going to do on his turn. So I'll turn it over to you, Cam. What do you plan on doing?
Well, my mighty unit of Winter Guard are not so mighty. They're pretty gone, so my options are thin. My Rifle Corps are going to advance up and pick off what they can of the Storm Towers, as well as a few of the Storm Blades. Now that they're not armor 18, I might have a chance of taking a few down. Scrapjack was going to charge this turn, but Temporal Barrier has changed that plan, so I'm going to have to do something fancy with him. Probably run away. That sounds like a good plan. Behemoth is going to scooch over just a bit, and I'm going to see if we can Arcane Fire onto pHaley. I don't know how the rules work with this little mix-up, because I've got an inch right there, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Nis are scared that the three of them behind the wall died so easily, so they are going to, I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. Witch is going to walk up and feat, and hopefully use the protection from Gorman to stay alive. And that's all the options I've got right now.
All right. Cam, that's the end of your turn. Take us through what you did.
So I didn't have a lot left to work with, at least not what I'm used to. So I decided to move up and just start picking off what I could, and it worked out not too badly. The Rifle Corps struggled with the defense of the Storm Towers in the hill, and they took out 4 of the 3 models. I was hoping for all of them, but I've got to deal with one of them still. The Nis really had a hate on for the guy that was here. It took about 3 models to take him out, but thanks to Hunter they could see through the cloud and eventually got the job done. Behemoth was the hero of the turn, moving up 4 inches behind that wall and taking up Hotshot pHaley, which took out 10 boxes of her health, which is now made this a bit of a game. Witch walked up, Scrapjack walked up, Gorman walked up, and they made a nice cloud of invisibility, and she feated. She transferred Iron Flesh from the Winter Guard onto the Nis, so they've got a bit of protection now, and that is it. So, Jeremy, how are you going to deal with this?
Well, I'll start by... I feel like the only way I'm going to be able to deal with Behemoth is trying to get crit disruption onto him. So I'm probably going to be dead-eyeing this Storm Strider and having to move it slightly over to the side so I can draw a line of sight through the cloud that's there, the Field of Crows or whatever it's called. pHaley's really hurting. She's at 5 boxes, so the rest of the game she needs to play it safe. It's just going to basically be Temporal Barrier up, keep Arcane Shield and Deadeye, and then sit on 1 and hide behind the Storm Shatter like she should be doing. Feel like I'm going to have this side of the board in decent amount of control. I might be able to grab a control point this turn as well. And yeah, this game's basically going to just be try and keep pHaley alive. I feel like I definitely have the attrition war on my hands, so just keep playing that game. And yeah, see you after the turn. Alright, so recapping my turn, I basically moved pHaley back to right here. She put up Temporal Barrier, upkept Arcane Shield on this Stormstrider, and Dead-Eyed the Stormstrider. And I proceeded to then move over to my Gun Mages, which were whiffing all their attacks even though they were aiming and under Temporal Barriered. Nis, I was failing to hit them from Iron Flesh, but luckily my Strider got some decent leaps on his guns because the Strider moved over here, drew a line past the cloud effect here. His first attack was Dead-Eyed, so I was hoping for that crit, which I got the crit, disrupted the Behemoth, and then Electroleaped to 3 Nis, killed them, and then my second shot from the Stormstrider missed. Because he is getting cover right now, so he's defense 14, which is not too shabby for Khador Jax. From there, which it also took a POW 14 because his feet was up, which I had forgot during my turn, and he took 3 damage. I then went to my Stormblades, who were going to be doing a lot of ranged attacks until Cam told me, "Do you remember my feet being up?" Which I said no, and since he's such a swell, nice guy, he let me take back their move because they would have all been auto-dead at arm 15. So luckily I just ran them out of his control range and they're A-OK right now. This Storm Tower tried to shoot one of them, but since I lost the rangefinder, it was only Rat 5 when it missed. Stormstrider walked up, hit both of its attacks, got 3 leaps on them all, and decimated the entire unit except for that last guy. Journeyman's running way around over here so that he can't kill him and take off the Arcane Shield that he's got on pHaley, because she's only sitting at 5 health and I want to make sure she survives. And Old Rowdy ran up to preemptively block more line of sight. I'm not too worried about his ranged attacks right now because he's Rat 4 and can't boost. So, feel like I'm in a good position, and yeah, I'll send it over to you, Cam. What do you plan on doing?
Well, this game is grinding down and my options are few and far between. My Behemoth is now a big piece of useless junk, so I don't know what he can do except for maybe fire random shots to harry your caster or your troops. My really only option right now is an assassination. I'm going to try and move up Scrapjack, Gallows the Stormstrider out of the way so the Nis can move up and do a combined range onto pHaley.
You can't push and pull.
I can't push and pull those ones either?
No, they can only be placed.
Even with a strong Gallows? So that's out of the question, so I'm going to just try and kill stuff because this game does not look good for me. So this is Khador's 3rd, 4th turn now? I can't remember.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Don't have much to work with. Behemoth being disrupted really, really limited my options. So I tried to go for a Gallows onto the Stormstrider, found out that I couldn't. Then Jeremy let me try to Gallows the Rowdy, and then told me about pHaley's ability to steal spells, so I didn't do that. So we Gallows a regular grunt at the Stormblades and killed him outright. Didn't move anything up. What I wanted to do was move something over here and maybe hope for a lucky black oil deviation to cause some trouble, just to mess up something in there. That didn't happen either way. So Joe moved up, we boosted the shots of this guy. He put a bullet between the eyes of that last Storm Tower, which made me happy on a personal level. That's about all I got right now, so let's take the small battles. These guys bobbed and weaved up into the zone just to control it. My Nis, Iron Flesh and the Nis is a fantastic thing. They survived just fine. We tried to sneak around, maybe put a shot into pHaley. It didn't work out too well. We got one of the gun mages That's not gonna do much for now. But put wheel secrets onto the P-myth for Pathfinder if I want to do something next. Activation, again, I didn't have a whole lot of options. It's just nice to put it up there, and that's about all I had left. I moved Witch back as far as I could to protect her, and I was lucky I didn't move her too far because I was about half an inch out of the kill box. So we're still good.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, what you got?
Alrighty, so my plan here is to basically, I don't have high enough powers to try and take down the behemoth, so I'm going to use a combination of Arcane Vortex and Temporal Barrier to basically prevent him from doing anything outside of 4 inches of himself. I'll kind of explain that more once I set it up after the turn. I'm going to try and go for a control point here as well. Yeah, we're just going to kind of see where it goes, try and clean up the stragglers of everything that's not Behemoth and Old Witch. Okay, so recap for my turn. Basically, I moved Old Rowdy up to there, and he kind of just held his own, not doing anything much, hasn't done anything the entire game, but you know, it's good to keep him there. After that, pHaley walked up, did Temporal Barrier, and is camping on 2. Then this Stormstrider walked up, tried to shoot the Behemoth, missed both times, which is unfortunate, but the reason why I feel like I'm in a safe position is because I've got Temporal Barrier up, so he can't charge, and if they do try and gallows in anything, I've got my infantry to try and block him gallowsing in my Jack there, and even if he does clear that infantry, I still have 2 Arcane Vortexes to try and stop him from gallowsing Old Rowdy. I'm hoping that this distance here is more than 4 inches away, because then Behemoth can't do nothing much. And once I brought that Stormstrider up there, I cleared out the 2 guys holding the zone, did another shot at Behemoth, did 1 damage to him, nothing much. The Stormblades, as I said before, ran up there. The Gun Mages took the aiming bonus, and from Temporal Barrier, they're able to clear out Cygnar and another Nest, so he's just down to 1 guy. And Journeyman's just, yeah, hanging out at the back, trying not to die, because I need that Arcane Shield on pHaley to keep her alive. And that's 1 control point for me as well. Alright, Cam, take us through what your plan is for this turn.
Well, Witch has watched with disdain as her entire force was decimated by electricity. So she's running away, and my last trick is to do the same thing I did last round or the round before, is move Behemoth into line of sight and hopefully Arcane Fire something onto pHaley. I'll take and probably sacrifice Joe into this blue area to prevent him from taking another control point, and really I don't have anything else to work with, so that's my plan. Okay, so my second attempt at the Lofting Bobards didn't kill her, so I'm kind of pooched now. I got 3-4 more boxes of damage on her, so she's almost dead, but almost dead is not going to help me out much right now. I walked up, black oiled the Storm Strider just to cripple it for little bits, put a few things in the zone to just to slow things down, and put a Murder of Crows on Behemoth to prevent anybody from charging him without reach. You guys have no reach, do you? No, they don't.
No, you don't.
No, yeah. So that's somewhat safer. And Witch is still sitting back there doing nothing.
Okay, well, what I plan to do this turn, this will be the first turn for the entire game other than my very, very first turn where I'm not going to cast Temporal Barrier. Phaley is going to give 3 focus to Old Rowdy, and Old Rowdy's going to try and do a number onto Behemoth. From there, basically I'm just going to bring the Storm Strider up to around over here and then get some Electro Leaps off of Scrapjack to try and kill Gorman and Joe. And if I can clear them out, if I can kill Scrapjack, kill Gorman, kill Joe, and hopefully between Storm Blades, shooting the Behemoth, and a bunch of stuff, hopefully I can get Behemoth out of there. And then get my second control point, and hopefully Phaley's not going to die because she's only on 2 health right now. Okay, so we'll see you after my turn. Okay, so to go over what I did, the Storm Blades, since they were fearing that POW 8, because a POW 8 would only mean that they need 8s to kill them, which, I mean, it might have killed some of them. Really can't afford to lose that many models with Behemoth there. So they just moved back, and they were doing shots onto him, and I wasn't doing any damage. Killed that last Rifleman. Then I brought Old Rowdy into there, who was full focus, walked into combat, really whiffed my damage, below average on most of the damage rolls.
I think you did 8 damage total.
Yeah, 8 damage total between all of my attacks. And no crit knockdown, and I actually missed on one of my attacks, needing double ones to miss. So Old Rowdy was very unhappy, and Old Rowdy was going to get several armor-piercing attacks to the face next turn, so I took my black-oiled Storm Strider and just moved it so that Behemoth cannot physically get into combat with Old Rowdy, and he can, you know, take a bunch of hits on that black-oiled Storm Strider, which I'm willing to let go at this point. Gun Mages walked over and, oh, actually, to even say why the Behemoth is over there is because before Phaley did scramble onto him and shot him out of combat by him making a full advance. Luckily, it was in the opposite direction where Rowdy was. And then Phaley moved behind the Storm Strider. I moved the Gun Mages to engage this last miss because I was going to need really high to hit. No Temporal Barrier up this turn, and the Gun Mages are just making their advances up. And if Cam doesn't win this turn, he's going to either lose on control or it'll be really tough with only 4 models on the table. And that's it.
So, as Jeremy said, things are not looking good for me. At this point, I've got 4 models on the table, and really only one of them can do something. So the Behemoth, I'm going to load him up with 6 focus. I've never done that before, so I'm excited to do that for no other reason. I'm going to see if I can put a beat down on that Storm Strider and shoot Phaley again. That's been my going tactic, and it's worked not too badly so far, so let's try it for the last time. I debated running Silas up into here to contest, but it's not going to be hard to kill him, so it's almost a moot point. It's just delaying things an extra turn, so let's finish this. that didn't go as planned. Jeremy was smirking at me the whole time, and now I know why. I loaded Behemoth up with 6 focus. I was ready to beat a lot of stuff down. Walked up, put 14 hit points onto the Storm Strider, and then it repulsed me. I didn't like that very much, so I was moved back an inch. I couldn't do much, so I decided to shoot anyways. I missed the Storm Strider on a 6, got a lucky deviation, and managed to hit pHaley again, boosted the crap out of that shot, and rolled armor, so nothing was done. So Behemoth's is sitting there with 4 focus. No, it was 5 that time. So I shot the Storm Strider again, boosted, killed that. It's another moral victory, but slim pickings. The Nis whiffed on his shots. Silas ran up to control the zone just because I might, for some reason, survive to live to shoot pHaley. I don't think I will. And Witch ran into the forest to gain stealth. Alright, Jeremy, finish it up.
Yep, so basically it's just going to involve pHaley doing Temporal Barrier, the Storm Strider getting the Superconduction bonus, and using his 1 power token to boost a hit on Silas, and if I kill him, then I win. So we'll just basically go to that right now. Okay, so like I said, moved pHaley over here. She Temporal Barrier for 4 to reduce Silas's defense by 2. She put Deadeye onto the Storm Strider. I ended her activation, went to the Storm Strider. He was effectively Rad 8 when he's in Superconduction. Silas's defense was down to an 11 with Temporal Barrier. 3 dice to hit from Deadeye. I hit him, and then it was impossible for me not to kill him.
I saw those 2 1s pop up, and I was giggling for a second.
Basically, the only way that Cam could have won is if I rolled 3 dice and got 1s on all of them, which I rolled 2 1s and a 6, so it almost happened. But yeah, good game. And we'll see you next battle report.